friends. In Unit 4 up till now we have discussed sales management objectives, scope, and then we moved on to various theories of selling, and then we talked about the personal selling process, wherein we discussed all the 8 steps which are involved in this particular process. Now is the time for us to understand what are the responsibilities of a sales manager who will be actually supervising the salespersons. So that is what we need to understand, and we would be taking up these responsibilities in more detail in the Unit 5, wherein we will be talking about each of these responsibilities in a more detailed fashion. So right now we are only going to have a brief discussion on the responsibilities of a sales manager. So the prime responsibility of the sales manager is to achieve targets by successfully managing the sales team. So sales manager would basically be supervising the sales team, which would have salespersons, and his job is basically to achieve the sales targets through his sales team. So that is his main duty, and the targets which are generally set for sales manager or the team that he supervises, they are generally set in these terms. The targets could be the sales target in volume terms or revenue terms. I hope you remember our discussion about the difference between volume and revenue term. I had talked about this in detail in this very subject in earlier sessions also. Volume terms means how many units you are going to sell. So it could happen that, for example, a sales manager who is taking care of the sales of ITC in Uttarakhand region, he might be given this particular target that you have to sell at least 2 lakh units of Sunfeast biscuit. So this could be one kind of target that might be given to him, and this is basically a volume based target. So you have given him this target, 2 lakh units have to be sold. In terms of revenue also, the targets can be set. For example, you have to make a sales of at least 20 crore rupees. So this is a revenue based sales target. So the sales target are set either in volume terms or in revenue terms. So whatever the targets are, they have to be achieved by the sales manager through his team. Then there could be cost and expense control also. To make these sales, many a times there are so many expenses which are involved. For example, if you are using personal sales force, for example, then you would be visiting the prospects also. So the salesperson would need to travel a lot. So traveling cost would be there. The salesperson would require some amount of allowance so that he can also entertain his prospects. And why is he entertaining his prospect? He's taking him to a dinner or a lunch so that he can crack the deal at that point of time whenever he's having this lunch or dinner with his prospect. So you need some entertainment allowance also as a salesperson. However, many a times it may so happen that you are contacting the prospect through phone. You might offer him some free gifts or some incentives or some bonuses or discounts. So all these are cost or expenses on the part of the company, and many a times one of the target which is set for the sales manager is to keep these costs, keep these expenditures under control also, right? Then another important aspect is that why do we do this? Why do we have this kind of target? Because if you only talk about the sales target, then what will happen? There would be many instances of mis-selling. When the salesperson, knowing fully well that the prospect doesn't need a particular product, still sells him that product just to be able to meet his target. So in such cases, what will happen? The customer would be dissatisfied and he would probably never repurchase from the company, and he would also probably spread a bad word of mouth. So this is something that you want to avoid, and that is why we have this kind of a target for him as well, wherein he has to ensure that the customers are satisfied, right? So that there are no instances of mis-selling, right? Secondly, if the sales targets only have been given in volume and revenue terms, the salesperson would like to visit a hot prospect, that is fine, but he might also keep on visiting a warm prospect or a cold prospect just to get sales, just to get an order from him, and to be able to do that, he may have to visit the cold prospect, the cold lead, so many number of times, and this would be an extra expenditure for the company, and such instances have to be avoided. And that is why we have these kind of targets also, and we have targets which talk about customer satisfaction levels also, right? So these are the kind of targets that the sales managers generally are given, and then they have to fulfill these targets with the help of their sales team. Now let us talk about the other responsibility of the sales manager. And the other responsibility of the sales manager is that he also has to manage his sales team. I hope you remember we have discussed this in business organization and management when you are doing your first semester, that as a particular employee rises up in the organizational hierarchy and he moves from the lower level of management to the middle level of management, his HR related duties, human resource management related duties increase, and that happens with the sales manager. Now sales manager is basically part of the middle management, so he'll not only be doing the sales, he does not need to visit the prospects and the buyers on his own. So his technical duties have reduced. In that sense, he does not need to use those technical skills, but now he needs to use his human resource management skills, which means that he will have to recruit and select his team. We'll be talking about this in detail in unit 5. He'll have to train them. Not only this, he will have to mentor them, he'll have to coach them, he'll have to provide timely suggestions and guidance and hand holding to his salespersons, because salespersons would be new while sales manager has got a considerable experience in the field, so he would have to make use of that experience to guide his sales team. Then he will have to allocate territory. What do we mean by the territory? The whole market is divided into different territories, and one particular territory is assigned to a particular salesperson, and then he is given the task to sell in that particular territory. So for example, if let's say Uttarakhand is considered to be a market, and then within that we can have 13-14 different territories. For example, Pithoragarh can be one territory, Almora can be one territory. So these are territories, and one salesperson can be assigned this particular territory. If Pithoragarh is considered to be a market, then within Pithoragarh there can be different territories. Dharchula can be one territory, Munshiari and Jhula Ghats can be other territories, and therein these salesperson would be assigned one of these territories. Each one of them would be assigned one of these territories. So this is what territory allocation is. But however, this is a very tricky decision, because you have to decide which particular individual to assign which particular territory. And the territories may have different potentials. Some territories may have good number of customers who are ready to buy the product and who buy in bulk. In some other territories, the number of customers may be less. The customers might be located far apart, so that would be a relatively difficult territory. So the allocation has to be done in an unbiased fashion, with the objective of ensuring that the firm, that the company achieves its sales target with the minimum possible effort, right? So that is one decision that is a very tricky one, and that requires a lot of thinking on the part of the sales manager. Then goal setting. What do we mean by goal setting? Goal setting is basically setting the targets for the salespersons, for every single member of the sales team, and then not only setting the target but also monitoring these salespersons as to how they are performing vis-a-vis the targets. And this monitoring is not done at the end of the particular appraisal year, performance appraisal year. It is done throughout the performance appraisal year, so that even if there is a slight deviation on the part of the salesperson, and he is probably not working hard enough, or he is not working in a fashion that may help him achieve his target, so we may intervene timely. So the sales manager may be able to intervene timely, so that at the end of the appraisal period there is no deviation from the target. The actual performance is as per the targeted performance. So performance monitoring has to be done on a regular basis, and then performance evaluation at the end of the appraisal period. Finally, you appraise the efforts of the salesperson, how they have performed vis-a-vis the targets that have been set for them. So this is one more job for the sales manager. Then compensation. Sales manager will play an important role in deciding the compensation, at least the performance pay, which will depend on the performance of the salesperson, will have to be decided by the sales manager, because he will be giving the performance rating to the salesperson. Based on that, the salespersons would be given compensation, they would be given incentives. So compensation or the salary decisions again are a responsibility of sales manager. And then motivation, of course, leading from the front, motivating the salesperson, talking to them frequently so that they remain focused on the targets which have been assigned to them. This is again an important task of the sales manager, right? The last thing that a sales manager has to do is he has to relay the market intelligence to the top management. And where from does he gather this market intelligence? From his sales team. So the sales team go to the market, they are talking to the customers, or they are probably talking to the dealers, and then they are relaying back this information to the sales manager. The sales manager has to again relay this information to the top management so that the top management can take decisions on time, timely decisions. So if there's a change in the customer taste, the salespersons would be relaying this information to the sales manager, and the sales manager would relay this information to the top management, and the top management would then start a process of changing the product design according to the changing customer tastes. So this is what is a very, very important duty of a sales manager. So with this we conclude our discussion on responsibilities of a sales manager. In the next unit that we'll talk about unit 5. In the next session that we'll talk about sales force management, which is basically nothing but whatever we have discussed here. The responsibilities of the sales manager will be discussed in more detail, how the sales force is managed, and that particular job is for the sales manager to do. So this very thing is going to be repeated in unit 5 in more exhaustive fashion. We'll be starting unit 5 after the test that will be there in the next session, so you please be ready with the test. So the next session is going to be a test, and you would be appearing in this test, and that would have a weightage of 2 out of 30 in your internal evaluation, right? In the meanwhile, just to make you understand how you have been performing till date, I'll let you know as to what are the scores till date. So these are the scores for all the 13 students. This is an Excel sheet wherein the formulas have already been set, and so you can find out these are your scores in the first test. Have a look at this column number C, and then column number D, test 2, column number E is test 3, unit 3, and the next session would be test 4 on unit 4. So these scores would be added here. As of now, out of 6 marks, this is what you are scoring. One student is scoring 0, and there are students like Vikas Joshi is scoring 5. Very good, keep it up. And then there are students who are not scoring that well, for example 1. So you keep having a look at your scores so that you get good marks towards the end of the semester. As far as the projects are concerned, I have already made this announcement through my YouTube lectures. As far as the number of students who have intimated me regarding the project that they have taken is, these students have been marked in blue. They've been marked in green, so they have intimated me on time, right? So which includes students like Priya Dhami and Shakshi Pandey and Himanshu Joshi and Vikas Joshi. Then there are students who have been marked in blue. Have a look here, and these are the students who have informed me as to which particular topic they would want to do their project on, but they have informed me late, and then they would be awarded a penalty of -1. So these students have been marked in blue, and the students who have been marked in red, they have till date not given me any information regarding the project choices, and that is why they would be awarded a penalty of 3 marks, right? So these students, I would advise them to let me know within next 24 hours as to which particular project they are going to do, and take a clearance from me if they don't want to lose more marks. So thank you very much for your time. We'll meet again in the next session, wherein after the test we'll be talking about unit 5, that is Salesforce management. Thank you very much for your time.